begins to fade now, and I feel like I'm losing time, but I don't know how I'm here. The sunlight has turned to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Simracersworld TV, and welcome to the beautiful and wonderful Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, also known as Interlagos in Sao Paulo in Brazil. We're here for another fantastic evening of racing in the Formula 3 Championship. Can't wait to get this underway. We've had a lot of fun already this season, and we've only had a couple of race meetings, and it's only going to get better from here, trust me. It's going to get a heck of a lot better. It's so much fun. So much fun. Thank you, everybody, for popping along. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and joining us. As you can see here, it's only 22 degrees Celsius at the moment, so not too hot. Quite humid, though, and this track heats up very, very quickly. So some of these guys may struggle tonight, but we'll have to just see how they get on. Very bumpy circuit as well for these Formula 3 cars to go around. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for everyone jumping in. Please do say hello in the chat. It will be very much appreciated. Now, one driver I really want to focus on straight away for you here is this man, Christophe Ebenio, who is racing for SDL Esports by Logitech. But some of the liveries, for some reason, don't seem to have changed from last time. There's a lot of cars out on track at the moment. We'll go on board with Ebenio just to see what it's like for a lap. It is patchy, probably, yes. My mistake. Ebenio goes top, 127.5, just ahead of Nicholson. So into turn 1, the center S. Turn 2, quick right-hander. You don't want to unsettle the car, and then you want to try and get as smooth a run around turn 3 as possible. You can see on the map just where Ebenio is. Double apex left-hander here. Don't get too much of the AstroTurf on the right-hand side because it'll spin the car out. It's not letting it run all the way wide there. Maybe it saves him a bit of time. Then you've got the very tricky double apex right-hander. Onto the second curb. There was a car spun out in front of us there. Onto the brakes. And now these two corners, there's two right-handers on this circuit. They almost feel identical. You can see them on the map. Long downhill left-hander here. Tightens up on the exit. Takes quite a lot of curb on the right. And then another right-hander where you slightly turn in on the brakes. So we'll see a couple of guys go around there this evening. Back on the throttle. Long left-hander down the hill. Not too much curb on the inside. Again, it will unsettle these cars a lot. Takes to the Astro on the right. Easy to lock up on there as well. And then you've really got to make sure you get a good run out the final corner. Long uphill section. Trying to be very smooth to keep the car to the inside. Make it as short as possible. And Ebenio is doing just that. Really keeping it short all the way around. And he goes even faster, 127.424. Brian Loynes goes into third place. And it might be worth me at this point just giving you the championship standings as they are at the moment. So top of the pro class at the moment. Just trying to find out where he is on track. Why is it that they always disappear? It's Bart Daleman who is actually top of the Drivers' Championship at the moment. Second place is Frederik van Eekhoven on 166 points. Behind him is Dries Vandenreit for Data Wire Racing. And in fourth place for Fiercely Forward is Josh Klog. Fifth place, it's Tito Granher for Banzu RX Flow. And then in the AM Championship, leader of that one at the moment is Mattia Sabatini for Prinaro Team. Behind him in the standings is Paul Godden for Sim Stickers. And then Brian Loynes, who we just saw there, is in 3rd place overall. Sabatini's teammate Giovannini is in 4th position for Prunaro team, and Matisse Groen is in 5th position. Only 20 points separating the top 5 in that championship as well. Brian Loynes and Giovannini tied for 3rd place on 106 points. So it's bound to be very close all the way through, and hopefully we see that continue. Nicholson goes top with a 127.460, and he goes immediately straight off and gives the wall a bit of a kiss there. That's going to be a repair bill before the first race. Kevin Bolland is out in the For the Bants team tonight. Here is Wayne Palmer for Sim Stickers as well, with the bright green wheels on. Don't forget, of course, last week we saw a fantastic performance by Taylor Lane of Fiercely Forward. His teammate Josh Clogg was doing an amazing job at the front of the field when some very controversial contact and netcode, there you go, I said it, flipped him up in the air and off he went. He's got a very brightly coloured car in front of him, and that's Stephen Grabowski in this very bright gold and purple livery. We'll go on board with him, see just how bright it is. It seems to have some sort of giraffe print on it, actually. That's pretty immense, isn't it? We'll show you the gaps on the left-hand side as well, so you can see just how close it is. Van Eekhoven's gone top by 9 thousandths of a second. There's not even half a tenth of a second cover in the top 3. Pretty amazing, to be honest with you. That was Lee Woodburn just going off there. Lee Woodburn had a bit of a nightmare last week with an incident, and Stephen DeWolf, and let me just have a look who else there was. Stephen DeWolf and Tim Rutten have been excluded from qualifying tonight. Tim Rutten for the rejoin which took out Lee Woodburn last week, and Stephen DeWolf apparently for hindering other cars in qualifying. So quite controversial stuff. 10th at the moment is Dries van den Rijt, and he's going to want to get a better time in than he's done at the moment. He's 10th overall, flying down the straight, or the not so straight anyway. There are all the cars on track. We'll show you via their car numbers as well, just so you can get an idea of who's where, just in case you know them. Van den Rijt stays 10th, Sabatini goes up to 7th, Giovannini is 8th as well, just behind his teammate for Prunaro team. Daleman goes 4th fastest. Still 4 cars within half a tenth of a second now. It's incredibly close. Good evening everybody that has said hello on the stream. I'm sorry if I've not quite read your comments out yet. It's kicking off a little bit. Tito Granher goes across the line, 6 tenths down at the moment. Stays there. I think he's on a lap as things stand. Let's go on board with Tito, the Spanish driver. He's been very complimentary of my commentary at the moment, which I'm very grateful for. And he's loving the streams and he's loving the series. Camille van den Driesche as well is another driver I want to look at in a moment. The French driver for WRT Esport. Tito looks very smooth at the moment. The wheels on these cars look very, very square, don't they? Well, Tito's doing a great job though, even if they are square wheels, of getting them around properly. The Banzu Flow RX team, sorry, Banzu RX Flow. Grabowski's 16th at the moment, 3.3 seconds off. Not having the best of times with the car. He's number 144, just trying to see whereabouts on track he is. I think he's just behind the 199 car. So Bolland is 14th, Palmer in 15th, just ahead of him. Woodburn goes 17th, 4 seconds off. Across the line goes Tito. What can he manage? 128.1, so he hasn't improved there, unfortunately. Jack Werrell is back out tonight as well for Fiercely Forward. Good to see Jack out there. Was just having a bit of a chat with him before. Erbigno goes 2.25 tenths faster. Very well done to Erbigno. Looks like Jack Werrell doesn't have the shiny lion on the side of the car. It just seems white at the moment. Fiercely Forward. But I was having a good chat with Jack beforehand. Fellow commentator, of course. He's a top lad, is Jack. And hopefully he does well in the race tonight. He wasn't so confident earlier in practice, so we'll see how he gets on. Here is Camille van den Driesche, who's just set a time there. And gone 7th. He's actually going to pull the car over. Ben White for Year 1 Racing. Doesn't seem to have a livery on this week. Out of the first 2 corners he goes. Flat out still. Certainly stands out though, doesn't it, with the wheels? You know that it's a year 1 car either way. Here's Paul Godden of Sim Stickers in the number 134 car. Shermans goes up to 7th place there for Simracersworld F3. Frederick Van Eekhoven is 2nd. Ross Nicholson doing a great job in 3rd at the moment. Doing a very good job indeed. The highest placed AM driver at the moment, as you can see. On the left-hand side, I'll also show you at the top of the screen. You have Pro and AM. So Pro are the green stripes and blue is the AM stripes. And Brian Loynes is doing a great job at the moment. Second in the AM class is Matteo Sabatini. Still quite a way off these boys. He's down in 11th overall. Here's Wayne Palmer, teammate of Paul Godden for Sim Stickers as well, Sim Stickers Pro. They've got 2 teams, they've got Sim Stickers Pro and Sim Stickers AM. I believe the Pro cars are the grey ones, the grey and white, and the AM ones are the red cars. If we look at Brian Loynes' car, yeah, that all but confirms it. So who else have we got out on track? Aha, here he is, Taylor Lane. I've just updated his livery and still it's not working, so I've got no idea what's happening with my my Formula 3 paints, I'm sorry. Ollie Slade literally just asked that. Here is Taylor. I manually added his livery in, by the way. And my PC has not picked it up because it's brilliant like that. Tell you what might work is if I put the name of it right, so bear with me. Any second now we should have Taylor pop up into a fiercely forward livery. Taylor getting picked up after his brilliant performance last week at Suzuka. I say last week, 2 weeks ago. Taylor really took us by storm. He was in the AM class. He's gone up to 15th place. Oh, he's run a bit wide on the exit there. And there is the livery popping on for him. Love it. Oh, quick look, see where his teammate Josh Clogg is. Josh is in the pits, so Taylor pulls the car over and out of the way. Van den Wright did the same. Here's Tito Granher. That very shiny Banzu RX Flow car. 24 viewers at the moment. Welcome everybody. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Hope you've had a good week so far. It's almost Friday. Here is Nick Shermans. Currently he's just over 7/10 of a second off the pace at the moment. 7th position overall. Into the second of these very tight right-handers. Oh, the car tries to step away a little bit from him there. Onto the AstroTurf, careful not to lock up. Good evening, Ian. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the issue is with the spec maps, I'm afraid, Ollie. Last week there was a mixture of getting them from Trading Paints and the paint pack. I've had an updated paint pack this week, but it seems that some of them aren't in there, so I'm not quite sure what's happened, where the process has failed us, but we'll look at it, mate, don't you worry. Sorry about that, though. I wanted to see if Josh Clogg was out, because I wanted to see whether if his spec map was working, then I can at least look at Taylor and Jack's cars and get theirs working, but he's not out on track, so I can't use it, unfortunately, at the moment. Here's Ross Nicholson, in the number 34 car, anyway. Just coming out of turn 3. Qualifying just coming to an end now, then, so we'll see who is near the end of a lap. Stephen Grabowski is near the end of a lap. After him, we're going to see Ben White. Here's Stephen, hugs it close to the inside of the wall. 2.9 seconds off the pace at the moment. Can he improve? He does. 129.6. Stays in the same position, though. Here's the next car that's going to cross the line. This is Ben White in what looks like a Damon Hill helmet in the Year 1 racing car. Doesn't seem to have a livery on it, though. No problem, Jack. You can make places up in the race, mate, as long as you don't take 3 people out like you did last time you were on track. Oh, and it sounds like Ben White is actually getting out of the throttle there. He is. Here's double race winner from Suzuka, Bart Daleman. He's done the same. So he's clearly not happy with his laps. Just in front of this guy. Oh, there is Sabatini. It looked like the rear end stepped out a little bit there. Onto the throttle. He wants to be higher up and he wants to chase Brian Loynes in the AM class. Just behind him on track there is Ross Nicholson, who's currently second. And he's been doing personal best sectors. Doesn't look like he's doing session best. Sabatini then comes to the line. Oh, Ross has pulled out of his lap there. Sabatini does not improve. Christophe Herbigno. Is he here to shatter the morale? Hugs it really close to the pit wall, down the inside. He's got to go faster, surely, if he's doing that. He doesn't, no. 11 thousandths of a second slower. But Christophe Herbigno will not improve his time, but he will still sit at the top of the grid. So once the session has ticked over and finished, we shall have our grid. As Ian says in the chat, we are sorry about the paints if they're not correct for anybody, but do let us know and we'll get it looked at. It is very difficult to sort paint packs out though. I've done a couple for a lot of different series, to be honest, and when you can't preview the paint straight away and you've just got to judge it by what's in what number and when it was updated and so on, you can't get an instant preview of the paint, so it can be a pain. So do bear with us. Christophe Herbigno then takes pole position alongside Ross Nicholson. Frederik van Eekhoven is on the second row with Bart Daleman. Then it's Brian Loynes, top of the AM drivers there, with Josh Clogg in 6th. Ben White is 7th with Nick Shermans in 8th. Rounding out the top 10 is Camille van den Driesche and Tito Granher. Then we have Mattia Sabatini and Simone Giovannini, the two Prinaro cars on row 6. Let me just grab this. Oh dear, silly thing. I apologise for this. It's been a bit of a pain in my backside. Honestly, it's always this, isn't it? Well, the rest of the grid then, I'll fly through it. I'm going to have to do it manually, I'm afraid. Paul Godden, Wayne Palmer, Dries van den Rijt and Taylor Lane is down in 16th. Kevin Bolland is 17th alongside Jack Werrell in 18th. Then we have Stephen Grabowski and Lee Woodburn in 20th. Davey Witterballs is 21st with Stephen DeWolf 22nd. Tim Rutten 23rd with Matthias Groen and Ben Cullen 24th and 25th. And at the back of the grid in the Year 1 racing car is Dean Timms in 26th place. I'm sorry for the issue with the grid there, not quite sure why it does that to me. It really does hate me, I'm telling you. There's a few things in the project file that we have for this series that I need to get sorted out by the look of it. And now the timing tower's had a fit as well. It's great, isn't it? Technology at its very finest, everybody. Honestly, there we go. So we've got the grid on the left-hand side now, the order on the left-hand side, I should say. Any second now, it'll be time, and I'm going to turn the music off, and we're going to get ready for round 5 of the series. And just as I say that then, we look at Herbigno, and round 5 of the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series from Interlagos is away. A lot of the guys going over to the right-hand side to make sure they get a good jump. And it looks like Van Eekhoven's had a good start. Matthias Groen is starting from the pit lane. Herbigno turns in, gets it done fine. Ben White's lost a place. Down the inside goes Nick Shermans. Oh, wow, there was a car upside down in the air, and I think Jack Werrell's involved in that. Dries van den Rijt is in there as well. So is Lee Woodburn. Jack Werrell is out. Jack Werrell's gone straight to the pit lane. He has had a nightmare. We'll look at that in a second. Side by side there, that's Josh Clogg with Brian Loynes, still the highest AM driver. Just behind him is Nick Shermans and Ben White, Tito Granher, and then Camille van den Driesche is down the inside of Mattia Sabatini. But Jack Werrell's first corner has gone to absolute pot. We've got Van Eekhoven, Palmer, Van den Rijt, Werrell and Woodburn out in that one. Davey Witterballs is actually in here as a steward. Dean Timms is not started the race either, it looks like. Camille van den Driesche and Sabatini still side by side. Looks like Sabatini makes his mark there. He's gained 2 places already. Josh Clogg has gained 2 places up to 4th as well for Fiercely Forward. Looks like his spec map is working with the chrome line on the side. But look at Christophe Herbigno. He did this at Zolder and he absolutely flew away from everybody. And he's done it again now. He's absolutely disappeared. Off he goes. Oh, when I say off he goes, and he blinked out there, his internet suddenly disconnected. Oh, there's a couple of cars around. Oh, Sabatini's off. Oh, and Bolland has just gone straight into the back of the Pranaro car, and there's another one caught up in it as well. Oh, who was that? Was that Matisse Groen? It was not, no. Taylor Lane has got no rear wing, no rear end on the car. Stephen Grabowski's in there too. It was a red car that got caught up, but Kevin Bolland just drove straight into somebody there. We saw him do it on the grid at Suzuka as well. Oh wow, it was a humongous impact. We need to go a little bit further back than that, don't we? So, the fiercely forward car is Tim Rutten. Tim Rutten gets caught up and takes 2 of them with him. We need to see what happened to those guys that went off track though. It was number 13, so it was Josh Clogg. Here is what happened to Josh. We are going to go back and have a look at it then. So Josh spins it. He gets clipped by Sherman's, and then he's sat in the middle of the road, and then the wheels do pop back on it somehow. And everyone's caught up in it, and then I think it was Sabatini. Yeah, Sabatini came back on. Bolland hit the back of him, pushed him off the circuit, and then it carried on from thereafter. This is now Josh Clogg, who hasn't actually gained much damage or any from that, to be honest, and he's now behind Brian Loynes. But Simone Giovannini, there he is, leads the AM class in 7th place. Just behind him, though, is Paul Godden, and ahead of him is Camille van den Driesche. Biggest mover at the moment, Stephen de Wolf. He has gained 13 places. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen now just how many they've gained. But so far from this race, we've lost Sabatini, Van Eekhoven, Palmer, Van den Rijk, Werrell, Woodburn and Rutten. So it's a mess for a lot of these boys. That was Tito Granher there, just having a bit of a battle with Camille van den Driesche. Looks like Tito really on a charge. But as I was saying, oh, Kevin Bolland's come in the pit lane as well with damage. Camera not really doing as much favour there. Oh, Stephen de Wolf off. That must have been a commentator's curse. Stephen de Wolf has crashed. Let me have a look at it. Oh, he spins it all on his own. Oh, and he gets clipped. And he gets hit by somebody. I think that was Josh Clogg. It was. No way. Oh, Josh hit the back of him by the look of it. And then got caught up in it again. It's an absolute nightmare for the fiercely forward boys. But it's not a nightmare for your race leader, Christophe Herbigno. Doing a brilliant job at the moment. Ross Nicholson in 2nd place. He's got Bart Daleman just 8/10 of a second behind him. And then Ben White for Year 1 Racing is in 4th. We will have a look back at the start as well, boys, don't worry. So look at Frederick Van Eekhoven. Oh, Van Eekhoven got caught up afterwards. He had a similar incident. So Dries van den Rijk was involved. Oh, I hope he's not going to try and make it 3 wide. Oh wow, Dries just gets collected. Werrell and Woodburn are in that as well. So here's Lee Woodburn. Oh, Lee just hits the back. He hits the back of Taylor Lane, then collects Werrell and Van der Rijk. We found the culprit, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately for Lee, it's now on the broadcast forever. And here is your race leader then. Oh, as Daleman apparently goes off the circuit, gets a bit too much of the slipstream, not slipstream, the AstroTurf. And this is Paul Godden chasing down Simone Giovannini for the AM class lead here. The Simsticker's car trying to get the lead of the class. We'll see whether he can get it done, shall we? We've lost almost a quarter of the field. Well, more than that actually already. And yeah, Ollie's saying that he doesn't think Lee Woodburn likes fiercely forward. But yeah, 2 of their cars getting caught up there. Jack Werrell as well making his return to the championship after missing the last race meeting. But Paul Godden is really on a chase here behind Simone Giovannini. Surely he's going to get some good slipstream now. He gets a similar run out the final corner. That should help him. See what he can do. These are the 2 closest cars on track. Herbigno with the fastest lap of the race, 1:28.0. Only 44 thousandths behind him though is Nicholson. To the inside goes Paul Godden on Giovannini. Onto the brakes down the inside into turn 1. And through he goes. Cracking job there by Paul Godden, and now he leads the AM class for Sim Stickers. So many cars sat in the pit lane waiting to come back out. Well, hopefully they can get the damage sorted. And here is the other Sim Stickers car, Ross Nicholson, second place overall. He's taking plenty of curb in this car. Bart Daleman really on a charge here for Simracersworld Esports. He's pushing very hard indeed. 2 race wins under his belt. And as he said at Suzuka, it was his first league wins in around 2 years as well. So he was very, very happy with them. Now Ebenio isn't running away with this at the moment. It looks like Ross has dialed in some proper pace around Interlagos to be sitting in second place as well. But he's got the black and orange machine of Bart Daleman chasing him down. It doesn't look like Bart's going to make it very easy at all. He's actually getting closer to him at the moment. They've got quite a gap back to Ben White, who's doing a fine job at the moment for Year 1 Racing in 4th place. He's got nearly 2 seconds over Tito Granaher. So the field is spread out. Ebenio, another fastest lap of the race, 1:27.9. And can you believe we're on lap 6 at 13 already? Nearly halfway through the race. But what do we think of Bart Daleman then? Can he make the move on Ross Nicholson and get the place? What do you reckon, everybody in chat? All 26 viewers at the minute. Thank you very much for popping in this evening. Grateful to see you all. And wow, that's close to the back. Bart Daleman hits Ross Nicholson and they're around. Oh, Bart, what have you done? I don't think Bart expected him to brake so early, and Ben White comes through and he's going to have both of them surely. He's side by side now with Ross Nicholson, who's just recovering. Tito Granaher's coming on this as well. Luckily, neither of the cars get too much damage, and Ben White really forcefully round the outside there, but Ross Nicholson's still down the inside. Thinks better of it. Ben goes a little bit deep, but takes the place. Second place for Year 1 Racing at the moment. Really unlucky there. And it was a Vettel on Verstappen. That's exactly what I had in my head then. And Jack Werrell is going to get back out there, he says, so good on him. Taylor Lane is back out there as well. He's 14th at the moment, all on his own. Kevin Bolland is there in 13th. Matisse Groen gained 12 places already so far. He's just behind Nick Sherman's in the number 19 machine. And then Stephen Grabowski is just a little bit further ahead of them. But we'll go back to this battle because this is still going on. Ross Nicholson now just behind is Bart Daleman. Bart's going to try it again, hopefully not going into the back of him this time. It wasn't intentional, of course. 27.7 for Ebenio. He's getting quicker and quicker as the race goes on. Ross brakes a bit later. Gives Bart enough room. Nothing too bad going on there, but these guys are having a great scrap. But you've got to think, Ben White might try and get away here. Let's have a look what Bart can do. Is he going to go down the inside this time? No, he brakes a bit earlier. He's wise to it. Ross Nicholson really pushing that car to try and get past Ben White. Looks like he's got a good run through there. Tito Granaher and Camille Vandendriesche just watching in the background. And yeah, Anton Dupin says very well, at least Bart gave the position back. It is good of him to make sure that he didn't gain an advantage from that contact. And now the battle can resume, and that's the beauty of it. The battle can continue. A bit of a lock up there for Nicholson as he goes around the left-hander. Onto the brakes he goes. Into the final corner once again, and now he's closing up to Ben White a little bit here. Can Ben soak up the pressure? He's doing a good job as things stand. His livery certainly lives up to his name as well. It's a very white livery. Looks almost like a Broughton car from the 2009 Formula 1 season, doesn't it? Here is this little train going down the straight then. Ross getting closer and closer to the back of Ben White here. But Ben's soaking it up. Cracking on as best he can. Ross has got the slipstream and he's going to go down the inside. No, he has a look though. He's just trying to pressure Ben White here into making it easy for himself, I think. He's going to be on the back of him again then as they go onto the infield section. Ross gets very close to the back of Ben there as he comes back across onto the racing line. Sabatini there, you can see, just is his personal best, 1:28.684. Ross takes a lot of curb there actually, and he's lost a bit of momentum, and now he's got Bart Dahlman breathing down his breathing down his neck. You can come up with your own answer to what I was almost going to say. And Tito Granha there, sitting just behind this, watching in the chrome machine, a very shiny gold car. And it is clever driving. You're right, Ollie. He's doing a great job of it at the moment, but you can't be too patient because Bart Dahlman is going to be all over him, and I think that Bart is going to try and take advantage of that right now. Jack Werrell doing his favourite lap, his fastest lap. Alongside goes Bart. It's going to be the outside for turn 1, but of course that's going to be the inside for turn 3. Ross comes over a little bit, says no, you're only having all the space you need. And Ross still keeps the place, but Ben White's going to be trying to get away. Bart's got a really good run out of turn 2, but round the outside there isn't going to work. He tucks into the slipstream, goes back down to the left-hand side now, which will be the inside for the next corner. Down the long straight they go. Car coming out the pits. That's Josh Clogg in the number 13 car, and Dahlman goes through. Bart Dahlman back into a podium position with 4 laps to go. 3 laps after this one. No, sorry, 4 laps after this one. I only got a B in maths. Leave me alone. But Ross Nicholson, he's got to be thinking now he's going to try and go with Bart here to close up to the back of Ben White and not get sucked into the clutches of Tito Granha. Don't forget, if you are of course enjoying the stream so far tonight, do hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to Simracersworld TV already, then make sure you do, and hit the little bell icon as well to make sure you get notified when we go live in future. I'm Chaz Draycott, your host tonight, known to a lot of people as Chazlington for now. I've got a rebrand coming, don't worry. Tito Granha then, what can he do about Ross Nicholson? He closes up down the very famous straight here at Interlagos. Onto the brakes. He lets Ross slot in, tries to get a bit of a cutback. He lines himself up for turn 2, gets a good run, and Ross almost moves out of the way. Tito, very forceful move, gets it done nicely. Still side by side though, obviously being on the inside, he's not gone as quickly around the corner as he wanted to. Ross keeps the momentum. Tito's on the inside though, gets it done. Ross falling backwards a little bit there. But he's not out of the picture yet though. Ross could come back at him here. He may have lost the place and given it up quite fairly, but he's going to try and take it back just as much. Great close racing from these open wheel cars. Wow, Ross goes deep into there, locks up a brake a little bit. Doesn't quite stay with him. Tim Rutten, unfortunately, is out of the race due to an iRacing issue once he was out. That's a real shame to hear, Tim. Hopefully see you back in the next one, my friend. Ross Nicholson then tries to carry the pace, tries to get the good run out the final corner. He's got to think about Camille Vandendriescher as well behind him. Erbenio, another fastest lap of the race, a 1:27.5. He's just having fun out there at the front, is Christophe Erbenio. Doing a brilliant job is the Belgian driver. Doing everything he needs to do. But we do have to look back at this battle then. Ross Nicholson still on the back of Tito Granha. Camille Vandendriescher not that close. A bit further down is Kevin Bolland in 14th. Taylor Lane is just 8.4 seconds back for Fiercely Forward. Really pushing the car at the moment. He was saying it's oversteery, and it certainly looks it, doesn't it? His teammate Jack Werrell has got Josh Clogg, his teammate as well, just 11 seconds back. Stephen DeWolf, who you saw there, is a lap down on him. And he's got Wayne Palmer, actually this is for position, right behind him, with the very bright green wheels. Dean Timms still not in the race. Did try and get a view on him there. But Ross Nicholson has got past Tito Granha. But Tito is still fighting back, and all this time, of course, Dahlman is going to be disappearing into the distance, and so too is Ben White. But I say that, but Ben White has really got to think about Bart now. We're going to go on the gearbox cam and and see whether Bart can close in on this straight. And Ollie Slade is doing my job for me. He is correct that Taylor Lane is closing in on Bolland, but look at Daleman closing in here on Ben White. Down the inside into turn 1. Very famous camera angle for any Formula 1 enthusiasts. We've seen a lot of move. Bart Daleman really come in round the outside of turn 2. Brilliant stuff. I didn't think he was going to quite go for that there, but he certainly did. Very gutsy stuff from Bart Daleman, the Belgian driver for Simracersworld Esports. And Ben White's got nothing, but Tito Granher and Camille Vandendriesche side by side here. Camille just trying everything he can. And if these keep battling, then it's Ross Nicholson that's going to be disappearing into the distance. One more lap to go after this one. It's come around so quickly. These races really do fly by. I mean, it's not a very long lap here at Interlagos. About a minute and a half, but wow. So much fun in so little time. Taylor is now 6.3 seconds behind Kevin Bolland. What I'll show you here is the interval on the left-hand side as well. That's the gap between each car. So you can see that these guys are the closest two on track. White is just 9/10 behind Daleman. And this is the final lap of the race now for Christophe Herbignaud, who's doing an amazing job out front, just as he did at Zolder in both races. Don't forget, we do have the reverse grid as well for race 2, which I'll be drawing randomly for everybody to have a look at. Well, everyone will be at the mercy of it. Vandendriesche and Tito Granher still having a good scrap here. Still trying everything they can. Camille's trying to get some slipstream out of here, but it's just not quite working for him. He's trying to chase that very chrome, shiny machine, but he can't quite get it at the moment. But it's Herbignaud that's done everything right once again. And with only a corner and a half to go, I'd say it's going to be a very convincing victory. So please, as has become a bit of a theme on my streams on Simracersworld TV, plenty of clap emojis in chat, please, for Christophe Herbignaud, making it 100% wins for him in the championship with a 14-second gap back to Bart Daleman for Simracersworld Esports. Started 4th on the grid, he's climbed up to 2nd place. And just behind is Ben White going to get the podium, or is Ross Nicholson going to have it off him? They're side by side as they go to the line. Ben White just gets it. It's a year 1 racing podium for him. Very well done. Tito Granher finishes in 5th with Camille Vandendriesche just behind in 6th. Brian Loynes is top of the AM class. Very well done. He finishes ahead of his Simstickers teammate Paul Godden. So 1-2 in the class for them. And Simone Giovannini finishes 3rd, with Grabowski there just coming across in the background for a top 10 for Stephen, the privateer, the American driver. He's done very well there. But another fantastic race under our belts. And it was indeed an awesome drive as well. I'm going to even put a clap emoji in there for Christophe. Much deserved victory. But Ben White as well, he's a standout one for me in that. He's done a great job there for year 1 racing to get a podium for those guys. Now don't forget, the reverse grid options are 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and full. So we're going to see which one gets brought out of those between these two races. Will some of the guys that finished far down be brought onto the reverse grid pole? Taylor Lane there, crossing line 14th. He will not be happy after that one. Tim Rutten will be hoping for a full reverse grid, because that'll mean that he is on pole position. Oh, as Taylor, as you can see there, certainly not happy with that. But who would be? And the race results then should come up any moment now. If they work? No. Brilliant. Let's see if we can bring them up over. There we go. Christophe Herbignaud from Bart Daleman, then the 2 Belgian drivers, 1 and 2. Ben White finishing in 3rd position. Like I say, really good podium for him there. He can be very happy with that one. Ross Nicholson finishes 4th ahead of Tito Graniher in 5th. Then it's Camille van den Driescher in 6th. Then it's 5 AM drivers after that making out the top 10, which is Brian Loynes, Paul Godden, Simone Giovannini and Stephen Grabowski. And then behind them we have Matthias Groen, Nick Shermans, Kevin Bolland and Taylor Lane in 14th place. Then the cars more laps down is Mattia Sabatini 3 laps down, Frederick Van Eekhoven 4 laps down, Jack Werrell 5 laps down with his teammate Josh Clogg. And then behind them we have Stephen DeWolf and Wayne Palmer rounding out the top 20. Then it's Dries van den Wright, Lee Woodburn, Tim Rutten, and then we have Davey Witterbols, Ben Cullen and Dean Timms, who were the guys that did not take part in the race. But another fantastic race for us there. Very, very pleased with that one. Very action-packed indeed, wasn't it? So it's time for me to do the reverse grid for you all then. Don't forget the options are 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and full. I'll bring up the results again actually so you can see who it's going to be. We're obviously going to just scroll it down a little bit. So if it's 8, let's just go back up a little bit. It's going to be Paul Godden. And we'll roll it now. It's based on an average formula, by the way, in Excel. Let's see what we get. And it's 20. So Wayne Palmer will be on pole position ahead of Stephen DeWolf, with Josh Clogg and Jack Werrell making it a row 2 for Fiercely Forward, with Frederick Van Eekhoven in 5th position. So it's certainly going to be an exciting one. And I will be back with you in about 5 to 10 minutes time on Simracersworld TV. Going to just run a quick couple of adverts for you. And then we have, well, they're just going to be on loop for a little bit, I won't lie to you. But if you join me in a few minutes, I'm Chaz Draycott, Chazlington, known to you as that, dependent on where you've heard of me from. As you can see in the bottom left of the screen there, I'll be back with you in a few minutes, don't go away.
like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallized, fascinating. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, crystallize, crystallize. like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallized, fascinating. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, crystallize.
Okay, everybody, as you can hear from those wonderful noises there that I did not mean to put in the middle of the Formula 3 advert, we are back at Interlagos for race 2 of the evening. Welcome to Simracersworld TV. My name is Chaz Draycott, known to a lot of you as Chazlington, and this is the Formula 3 series sponsored by Sim Stickers. And this is the second of 2 races tonight. We had a 20 reverse grid, so a very, very interesting one indeed is going to be thrown up for us here. Race 1 winner, the unstoppable Christophe Herbigno for SDL Esports by Logitech. He was flying out there, wasn't he? Really was. 25 viewers at the moment. Thank you everybody who has been watching so far. A little bit hotter in this session, 24 degrees Celsius the air temperature, 55% humidity though, so it's not as humid as race 1 was. We of course saw quite an incident at the beginning of the race. Lee Woodburn seemed to have some sort of brake failure, went over the back of Taylor Lane, and then went into Jack Werrell and I believe it was Dries Van Den Rijt as well. And Anton Dupin says about Herbigno can win it from P20 on the grid. You never know, mate, you never know. The guy is rapid, like properly rapid. So, we're looking at Ross Nicholson at the minute, who had a very, very close race at the end there with Ben White here, who got a podium for Year 1 racing. Doing a fine job indeed. Number 21. And a very white car, really. It definitely reflects his name. Tim Rutten is hoping to get a bit further in this race for DSRT. There was a bit of an incident at the end of lap 1 as well, where a couple of drivers, I think it was Josh Clogg, spun around and then other drivers all collected each other. Kevin Bolland involved, Matteo Sabatini, Matisse Groen as well. He's hoping to get a bit further in this one for Simracersworld Esports. And Frederick Van Eekhoven had a bit of a nightmare too. We saw great things from him at Suzuka. A brilliant, brilliant battle with Josh Clogg for the for the second race, where Bart Daleman eventually came through and won. And here is said Clogg Champ, as he's known by quite a few. There's Camille van den Driessen just in the foreground of the shot. So this is the fiercely forward driver. 3 of them out there tonight at the moment. Jack Werrell also there as well, and so too is Taylor Lane. 3 very talented drivers. Taylor was amazing at Suzuka. And here's Wayne Palmer for Sim Stickers Pro. Of course, as I said in race 1, the 2 teams differentiated by their colour schemes. And they're also differentiated by the little classes that you see at the top of your screen there. Pro are the green strips on the left hand side, and Am are the blue strips. And the session will be pushed ahead to the race in 2 minutes with the reverse grid. So it's going to be very exciting to see this one, see if anybody comes through from further down the order. Paul Godden is the top Am at the moment for Sim Stickers. Simone Giovannini, oh, he's around. I noticed that it said he was doing 0 miles an hour and thought something was wrong. Here's his teammate Matteo Sabatini. He was hoping for better things in this one. He's just gone down the inside of Matisse Groen there. Sabatini was leading the Am class coming into this race meeting as well, so a DNF in race 1 is not what he needed. And DSRT say, enough bad luck for their Rutten. Hopefully he does get a good result. We'll keep an eye on him as well. We'll keep an eye on our Tim. Tito Granja goes 6th in the warm-up at the moment. Van den Rijt goes 5th, pushes Granja down to 7th. Any second now then, we'll be going to the grid. And oh, Lee's had a hardware issue, unfortunately. Mr. Woodburn will not be with us for this one. Here's Brian Loynes, who's having a lawn mowing issue at the moment. He's turned the Sim Stickers car into a lawnmower, definitely. Stephen Grabowski grabbed a top 10 in that race. He'll be happy with that one, as Nicholson goes fastest with a 1:27.7. You can see the sun sort of in and out at the moment. So it's not the brightest of conditions here at Sao Paulo. And that's one of the beautiful things that iRacing's done recently very, very well, is where the sun goes in and out. Stephen DeWolf goes 6th there, just behind. For Dynamics Racing. In what can only be an old Jordan livery. A 1991 Jordan, I believe. Palmer goes 3rd. Just as the session comes to an end then. So any moment now, the drivers will all disappear from our screens. And we shall have the grid. I also figured out the issue of why it wasn't working in the first one as well. I was clicking the wrong button on my screen. Frederik van Eekhoven then, pole position, with Josh Clogg alongside him. Then they have Bart Delman and Matthijs Groen, Steven Grabowski and Camille Vandendriesche. Then Tito Granher, Taylor Lane, Matthias Sabatini and Tim Rutten. He's followed by Dries van den Rijt and Ross Nicholson. Then behind them is Ben White and Jack Werrell with Simone Giovannini, Stephen DeWolf, Paul Godden, Nick Shermans, Wayne Palmer, Kevin Bolland, Brian Loynes and Christophe Herbigno. And this seems like, to me, like it's a bit of a mixed up grid, as if it's not correct. Not sure about you lot, doesn't quite look right to me. Because I'm sure that we were meant to have a fiercely forward second row. Oh, we do. Josh Clogg and Jack Werrell, second row of the grid apparently. It's very strange. Apparently Jack is 4th on the grid. Yeah, here he is. That's very strange. It was definitely showing wrong there, but oh well, it's time to shut the music up. Go back to the TV camera, and round 6 of the SimSticker SimRacersworld Formula 3 Series is away. Looks like some cars dodging around. Oh, there's contact further down. Tito Gran has had a nightmare. He's dropped down the order. Wayne Palmer leads then into turn 1. Oh, there's contact there. That was Van Eekhoven. Van Eekhoven's had a nightmare today. He's been turned around. Not quite sure who it was that went into him. Sabatini it might have been. There's a big gap then, and there's 2 fiercely forward cars of Jack Werrell and Josh Clogg are chasing down Wayne Palmer at the front, and then Taylor Lane is already up there as well. He's got Shermans and Sabatini side by side behind him, and sorry, in front of him. Can't get my words out today. I'm having a nightmare, aren't I? All this bunching up further down the order. Christophe Herbigno's gained 5 places. He's trying to come through. Tito Granher all over him as well. Ben White's in there. He's down the inside of Delman. Doesn't quite work. Now it's Delman and Herbigno side by side. The only 2 drivers that have won races this season. Look at Herbigno. Look at that. Just siding through the field. Tries to get around the outside. Now he's down the inside. So close there. That's the 199 car. Brian Loynes is a car off the track. That's Kevin Bolland. Kevin's put it in the wall. Let's have a look at what happened to Kevin. He's gone down the inside of Sherman's. Oh, he's just caught his right rear, sorry. And into the wall he goes. And he's out of the race. Wayne Palmer then leads the way. Josh Clogg in 2nd place. Surely we're going to see Josh Clogg finally open the taps. Let's hope they weren't clogged. Oh, Christophe Herbigno. Christophe Herbigno's had an issue. I was just saying how well he was coming through the field. That's Camille Vandendriesche just in front. Oh, he gets a tap and around it goes very suddenly. Tito Granher goes in there as well. Luckily, Christophe doesn't get any damage from that, but he carries on. And he's now down in 19th place. Josh Clogg, though, has the race lead. And it was DeWolf as well that got stuck on the grid. Taylor Lane here coming past Matthias Sabatini. Looks like Fiercely Forward are going to have a good one here. Certainly going to have a good one. Let's see what the issue was with Stephen DeWolf off the start. Yeah, he doesn't move and gets clipped. Not quite sure who it was that hit him. We'll have to go back again. Oh, I think that might have been Sabatini. And yeah, it was Sabatini as well that caught. Wow, bit of a poor start for Sabatini, plenty of contact. It was him that took off Van Eekhoven. He was still out of the race as well. He's still sat in the pit lane, unfortunately. Real shame for him. And Christophe Herbigno now properly down the order, but it's Jack Werrell leading the AM class at the moment. His teammate Taylor Lane behind him. Wayne Palmer still in 2nd place for SimStickers. Sabatini in 5th, then it's Shermans in 6th. Camille Vandendriesche is in 7th place, and Bart Delman has gained 10 positions at the moment. Look on the left-hand side, you'll see the gains. Plenty of drivers taking advantage, and he's going to try and get past Giovannini here as well as he goes down the inside into turn 1. Brilliant stuff. Ben White there as well, with Ross Nicholson having a good scrap too. For 10th and 11th place, just behind them is Brian Loynes. And then we have Tito Granher. So great field of cars at the moment. Closest on track though are these boys. That's Ben White, Ross Nicholson and Brian Loynes. Ben White already has one podium this evening. Of course, this is a 20-lap race as opposed to the 13-lap race that we saw at the start of the night. So these guys have to look after the tyres maybe a bit more here. Ross Nicholson round the outside. Beautiful move. Ben White has been put offline by that. Now Brian trying to get in there as well. Jack Werrell has his teammate Taylor Lane very close behind him. Ollie Slade's going to be biting his fingernails here, waiting for this to kick off between these pep. Taylor chasing him down. Jack will be very happy to be up there at the moment. Palmer's doing a good job in second place. Dries van den Rijt has apparently had an issue. We're going to have a look back at this. He's following Tito Granher. Is it going to be on the AstroTurf? It's very easy to lose it here. Yep, locks up, spins the car. Lets it roll backwards. Now, normally I'd say make sure you hold your brakes in an incident, but he's let the car roll out of the way, which is nice. And Taylor Lane, by the way, has gone past Jack Werrell. Brian Loynes and Ben White have also swapped places. We'll just take a quick look at that after this. Taylor goes past down the straight. His teammate doesn't make it hard for him. He says, off you go, son. And here is Brian Loynes just behind this, overtaking Ben White round the outside into turn one. Lovely decisive stuff there from him. And it's still going on though. Ben White is not letting him run away with it. Tito Granher's in there as well. Brian Loynes is all over the back of Simone Giovannini. They're actually side by side. Brian's gone down the inside. Simone can't defend it. Ben White's going to try and come through here as well. He wants to follow him. Onto the brakes, into the hairpin. Ben White goes through. Tito Granher's going to do this as well. Giovannini's getting freight trained here. He's got cars going around him from all angles. Oh, he moves over to the right. Doesn't give Tito much room. And Tito squeezes through in the right-hander and gets the position. Biggest mover at the moment still Bart Delman. He is in 8th place, chasing down Camille van der Driesche. Ollie, you can rest easy now, mate. Don't you worry. You can chill. Taylor now is going to go after Wayne Palmer. There's the top four, 3 of them fiercely forward cars. You've got Josh Clogg leading the race, then it's Wayne Palmer, Taylor Lane, Jack Werrell, Matthias Sabatini, Nick Shermans, Camille van den Driesche, Bart Delman, Ross Nicholson and Brian Loynes. I think I've just put the overlay into cardiac arrest. Clicking through that many cars that quickly is Tito Granher and Simone Giovannini. Still not quite doing it. Where's our mate Herbigno? Herbigno's in the pits. I think Herbigno might have had some damage, you know, from that incident before. And he's sat there in the pits. His race leader then, Josh Clogg. Doing everything he needs to do. It's going to be a long 15 laps, says Ollie Slade. I bet it is, my friend, I bet. He's got a driver leading, a driver in 3rd and a driver in 4th at the moment. There's the leader, there's 2nd, there's 3rd, and there's 4th. Jack Werrell doing a fine job at the moment. Very, very pleased for him. He's a good lad, is Jack. Matty's grown. Hopefully he's not groaning at how he's getting on at the moment. 15th position. He's got Godden behind him, Paul Godden, and Stephen Grabowski in front of him. It's actually Van Eekhoven behind him on the circuit, but Van Eekhoven's a lap down. He's very quick though, one of the quickest drivers in the series, the number 77 for SROC Racing Forces. It's very close up here between Bart Delman and Van den Driesche. Clogg does his best lap of the race, 1:28.5. Fastest lap so far is Bart Delman, a 1:27.9. And he goes up now, oh, a 1:27.960 by Brian Loynes, doing the fastest lap of the race in the AM class as well. The Sim Stickers driver, very well done, Brian. And Chris Herbigno not too pleased with Mr. Loynes, it seems, in the chat. Here is Daleman, still only just ahead of Van den Driesche. 31 viewers at the moment. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Bart Delman doesn't have an easy ride. It looks like Giovannini's had an issue that I might have missed. Oh, the car gets away from him on the throttle and it's kissed the wall. He does get it back going again though. Or does he? Seems like there's an issue with getting it moving. Oh no, he's just waiting for traffic. And away he goes. Taylor Lane has got up into 2nd position, by the way, as well. Another thing that I've missed, being the professional that I am. There he goes, down the inside of Wayne Palmer. Nice textbook stuff from Taylor Lane there. Squeezes through. Great stuff. So now, it's Jack Werrell that's got to put the chase on. There is the gap. So it's fiercely forward 1, 2, 4 at the moment, with Mattia Sabatini closing down on Jack Werrell. Mattia doing a great job at the moment in this race. In 5th, Nicholson 1:27.834. He does the fastest lap of the race. So some of these pro guys are really closing down. Some of these AM drivers at the front of the pack. That's Shermans, Daleman, Van den Driesche and Nicholson. There's a train of them coming. And you can bet that they'll be with them in a few laps. Not quite halfway through this race yet. We're on board with the ever smooth Ross Nicholson, doing a cracking job. He's even got the series logo on the nose of the car. I love that. Ross is really closing in on Van den Driesche. Tries to take a bit more curb. The car doesn't seem too unsettled over there, doesn't it? Seems alright. Usually you'd think in these cars it'd be quite a challenge. It's usually quite a bumpy circuit. It's quite tough on little Formula cars. He's got the 2 teammates just ahead, Daleman and Shermans. The car directly in front of us is Camille Van den Driesche for WRT Esport, and onto the straight again. We'll see whether Ross can get a run this time. These are some of the closest cars on track. Paul Godden, Matthias Groen and Dries van den Rijt are all together a bit further back as well. We'll look at those in a second. But can Ross get the run? He certainly can. Look at him go. Onto the brakes then. Brakes a little bit later than Van den Driesche, gets the car stopped, turns it in, nicely done, still makes the apex and makes the move into 8th position. I did just mention them. Here's Paul Godden chasing down Matthias Groen. Oh, Groen's gone a bit wide. Manages to keep the car under control. Godden's going to get a great run. And Dries van den Rijt is now going to be on the inside of him as well, so he might have done himself over there as Paul Godden. Dries van den Rijt trying to come through. Is this going to be a 3-wide situation? Oh, Dries looks to the middle. Van Eekhoven's behind this as well, you know. Groen's on the inside. Oh, Groen almost lets Godden through there, holds Van den Rijt up. They're still side by side though. Almost 2 by 2 here. Just across the front goes Godden, down the inside goes Van den Rijt, gets on the brakes very hard so he doesn't hit the back of Matthias Groen. Somehow keeps the car in check. The Data Wire car almost out of shape there. You can see he's just so determined to get through. Down the inside of Matthias Groen, opens the door. And Dries van den Rijt tries everything, makes it work. And away he goes into 15th place. It's close again here between Ross Nicholson and Camille Van den Driesche, side by side once again down the straight. Just in front of us, Sabatini and Shermans having a scrap too. Sabatini has been overtaken and now he's got to think about Bart Daleman right on his rear. On we go with Bart Daleman. Chefko says Van Eekhoven. Unfortunately, mate, he's a couple of laps down after an incident early on. Sabatini has the run on Shermans. Shermans gives him, well, about a Brazil's width of room. And now the 2 teammates are side by side here, chasing down Sabatini. Of course, Nicholson's in the background there, wanting to get in on this. Sabatini, great defensive work. This is the AM driver holding off the pro boys here. Camille Van den Driesche just behind as well. Is Van den Driesche going to go for anything? That's Nicholson and Brian Loynes. This is really kicking off. We'll go on board with Loynes then. Look at these cars in front. Everyone says that open wheel racing's boring and the cars all spread out. This is exactly the opposite. Oh, there's contact, Sabatini! Sabatini and Daleman. No way, we didn't want it to happen. Oh, I think Sabatini might have just scared the life out of Tito Granher or Ben White with a rejoin. Let's have a look at what happened. So this is Daleman chasing Sabatini. Does he do a Hamilton on an Albon? Oh, Daleman just loses it, goes in hot, hits him. And then Sabatini once he gets unlocked. Whoa, just drives into the trap. Ben White, really good avoidance there from Ben. Very well done. That must have been very scary. I bet it's Ben Brown is his new surname. Whoa, as he turns across Tito Granner as well. Not great from him either. Not the best awareness from these boys there. That was very dangerous stuff. Tito Granner, though, seemed to get the place and go through. And he still is in front as well as they follow on. Here's this battle just ahead as well, 2 by 2. That's Shermans and Nicholson, then Loynes and Van den Driesche. Nicholson down the inside. We'll go on board with Van den Driesche just to see what's going on. Up front, Werrell is still behind Palmer. This is the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Short shift in there from Camille Van den Driesche. That's Brian Loynes in the AM class just in front. Oh, and sideways goes Ross Nicholson. He loses a couple of places. Shermans doesn't need a written invitation, does he? Straight through. He's got his teammate now. Brian Loynes behind him. Van den Driesche is looking for a way to get through. He's going to try and get the slipstream onto the straight. We're only at the halfway point of this race as well. This is fantastic stuff to watch. Oh, Tim Rutten's crashed apparently. Tim Rutten's had a nightmare. Ben White's apparently gone off the circuit. What's happened to Tim? Oh, he just clips the grass on the way into turn 1. Oh, and settles it on the curb. Does he keep it out of the wall? He does. We'll look at Ben White as well, because Ben White's apparently been off the track for a moment. I think he might have just gone wide, actually. Still, back to this. Shermans ahead of Nicholson, Loynes, Van den Driesche. Great battling all the way through this field. So close together, all these boys. The best view is really on board with Van den Driesche. You can see it just exactly how it is. As Loynes watches his teammate try and have a go again at Shermans. They're side by side through the double right-hander. Van den Driesche carries a lot of speed there. Maybe a bit too much. Nicholson goes through. Loynes goes down the inside as well. Shermans might not have expected that. Now Loynes is going to be on the outside. Can Van den Driesche take advantage of this and get his foot down? He can't. But look at how quickly these gaps open up, though. Nicholson seems to have gained quite a lot of time on Shermans already. Loynes is trying to attack him and just distract him in any way he can, get him away from his teammate. Jack Werrell's quite safely ahead of these lot, 3.5 seconds up the road. A couple of them just stepping the rear out a little bit there, and of course they're going to bunch up again now. Watch Loynes try and get past Shermans down this very long, not quite a back straight. Ollie Slade's loving this. He wants these guys to fight, so his guys are 1st, 2nd and 4th still. We want Werrell to get past Palmer if you're Ollie Slade. Ben White just got past Sabatini a little bit further down the order. No changes of position there though. But great racing all the same. Really, really enjoying it. His race leader Josh Clogg and his teammate Taylor Lane just behind him. There he is. 1-2 for those guys at the moment. And then Jack Werrell is 4th behind Palmer. The gap hasn't got any smaller by the look of it. There's the distance. He's chasing him down. 8 laps to go after this one. Bit of understeer there for Jack. Oh, a bit of oversteer on the brakes as well. So this is the battle for 3rd. Palmer 1.7 seconds ahead then. You can see it in the bottom right of your screen. A little bit of oversteer there for Jack. Wow, he carries a lot of speed through that second to last. You can see it then to 2 decimal places in the bottom right of your screen. Staying very close to 1.6 seconds. Don't think Jack's going to get any sort of slipstream from there. He's gaining a little bit of time on Palmer, but only a tiny bit. On to lap 13 of 20 for the fiercely forward driver. He gained quite a bit through there actually, through turns 1 and 2. Look at that, he's gained a 1/10 of a second. So Jack Werrell is certainly pushing. If we see a 1-2-3, that'd be pretty immense. And here's this battle still. Shermans has been overtaken by Loynes now. We'll have a quick look at how that happened while they're chilling. Oh, it was almost an entire lap ago. Loynes just gets the run, puts it up the inside. Shermans can't do anything. And through he goes, and here they are now. Sherman's just behind with Camille van den Driesche all over him. It is going to get tricky, isn't it, Ollie? What are you going to do now as a team manager? Fernando is faster than you? Is it going to be that sort of moment? Or are they going to be allowed to race like Hamilton and Rosberg at the Bahrain Grand Prix in 2014? What are we going to see? Tell us, Ollie. But this is Sherman's at the moment with van den Driesche, who, I tell you what, it's a real... He doesn't care who it is, does he, Van den Driesche? He really goes for it everywhere. Such a fighter on track, and I mean, from what I've seen in the WRT eSport boys, they all are. I was watching Sebastian Denise and Vincent Charcenet, his two teammates in the Simracersworld TCR series, and those guys really, they're not scared of anyone on track. They'll have a go at everyone, it's great. And oh, Taylor Lane takes the race lead from Josh Clogg. 0.7 of a second quicker that time round was Taylor. And Josh now demoted to second place. It's the 112 and 13 car, and they're fighting with each other. Josh is all over the back of him. Cover your eyes, Ollie. Cover your eyes, sunshine. Oh my God. Ben White has got past Daleman, by the way. And Brian Loynes and... sorry, it's Van den Driesche and Shermans now swapping places again. Side by side. Sherman's round the outside. Nicely done. Gets the place. Or does he? Well, for now he does anyway. Looks like Taylor Lane has managed to get away now from his teammate. There he is in the rear view. Off into the distance, but that was very, very close. Let's have a look at the move. It's surely going to be down the straight. Yeah. Taylor just got a bit of slipstream. Josh gives him all the room in the world. Taylor a bit deep into turn one though. Maybe a bit excited about it. Through he goes. And he's now got 0.7 over his teammate. And let's have a look. Jack Werrell is now 1.8 seconds behind Palmer, so he's lost a bit of that time. Doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. Ross Nicholson and Brian Loynes aren't too far behind. Look, here they are. Ross Nicholson is flying. 5 laps to go then. Sorry, 6 including the one we've just started. Palmer does his fastest lap of the race as well. No wonder he's getting away from Jack Werrell. But Taylor has been amazing to watch, hasn't he, everybody? You've got to agree. Surely pro driver, though. We're on board here with Ross Nicholson. Ross is such a smooth driver, you can just see it in every single line he takes. Van den Rijt and Sabatini, by the way, very close to contact there. Sabatini losing out, Van den Rijt going up into 12th position. And this is Nick Shermans with Van den Driesche still stuck right behind him. Just ahead of them is Brian Loynes and Ross Nicholson then, the two Sim Stickers drivers. Ross Nicholson in the Pro category, Brian Loynes in the AM category. Wow, he's not in the AM category for drifting though, that was a great slide. Manages to save it, but he's surely going to lose a place here to the Sherman tank. Nick flying up to the back of him. And Josh Clogg has just retaken the lead of the race. This is going to get very feisty between these two then. It's on. So a quick look at the move, and then I'm sure they'll swap in the time that we come back to them. Josh just gets a nice run down the inside on the brakes. Through he goes, and here they go again. Josh is on the inside, Taylor's on the outside. It's like Villeneuve and Pironi. Never mind Hamilton and Rosberg. If you get that reference, then you really know your Formula One. Here's Shermans and Loynes as well, also reenacting the fantastic inter-team Ferrari battle. Loynes doing a good job of defending. Sherman's trying everything. He's all over the road trying to get past him. Still can't do anything. He needs to think about Van den Driesche behind him as well. Needs to be very, very careful. Ollie says as long as they don't touch or slow each other down, he's happy. Well, let's hope for that, shall we, for Ollie? Just for Ollie's sake, so he doesn't have to have a pacemaker. Here's Jack Werrell then, with Nicholson bearing down on him. Werrell doing a great job at the moment, though, in fourth. Very well done. And of course, Palmer, you can't discount Palmer. He's still on for a podium. But here is the battle at the front. The two yellow and black fiercely forward cars. It's Josh Clogg, the American driver, in the lead, with Taylor Lane, the Brit, in second place. This is an awesome race to watch. It's been described as a thriller, and it's going to be the first race winner this season. Surely there isn't Bart Daleman or Christophe Herbigno. And I won't lie, I've been speaking to a lot of the fiercely forward boys as of late since broadcasting this series, and they're a great bunch of guys. It'll be a very well-deserved win if one of them gets this. But Josh Clogg doing everything he needs to at the moment in the lead. We've got to go back to this though. It's deja vu for these boys. Sherman's slightly on the outside of Brian Loynes going into the left-hander. Paul Godden has just got past Sabatini a bit further down the order as well. Sherman's looking around all over the place. Here is that battle. Sabatini surely going to get the slipstream now on Paul Godden. Down the inside he goes. Gets the position back. I'm sorry, but we do have to skip back forward again, because Sherman's, again, has Van den Driesche right behind him. Just can't quite get something done. So close. And speaking of, once again, as we come onto the 18th lap of 20, Josh Clogg now leads his teammate Taylor Lane across the line. Side by side into turn one. Taylor on the outside tries to carry the momentum. Can't quite go for a cutback. He hasn't got enough apex for that. And Josh retains the lead again. But we'll go on board with Taylor now as you see the slipstream as he starts to close in on his teammate. Hopefully it's not a Vettel and Leclerc. Ben White does his fastest lap of the race. Taylor brakes a bit early, tries to hit the apex. He's going to get the cutback on Josh here as well. This is proper racing between the two teammates. Awesome to watch. Proper showman. And Josh is racing the SCO, and Taylor Lane takes the lead around the outside. Josh is apparently racing this track in SCO this weekend, his team manager says. Taylor Lane leading the race then. And Jack Werrell now has Ross Nicholson right behind him. Ross has been flying this evening. It's great to watch. He was good at Suzuka. He's been even better here. Jack Werrell doing a great job though. Ross, of course, has his teammate Palmer in front. It's actually the top 6 cars are 3 Simstickers cars and 3 fiercely forward cars as Josh Clogg goes, oh no, Taylor Lane! Taylor Lane is around. I had to say it, didn't I? Taylor gets going again. What happened, Taylor Lane? Did he spin it on his own? He's been carrying a lot of speed through this second to last corner all night. Oh, the curb just unsettled the car and around it goes. Unbelievable. Let's see how he's getting on now. Nick Sherman's is off the track as well. I think Nick's done the same. In he goes. Is it the curb? Oh, it was already going by that point. By the look of it. Taylor Lane is still in 3rd position. Jack Werrell just behind with Ross Nicholson, so somehow Taylor hasn't lost more. Amazing that he's still in 3rd place, but it's 3 Simstickers cars against 3 fiercely forward cars, and then Camille van den Driesche. This is Werrell now defending from Nicholson, doing everything he can. With just 1 lap to go after this one. Still 2 cars on the podium for Ollie. Jack Werrell doing a great job of this defending. Ross is so close to the back of him. Ross has been taking a lot of curb here. Oh, a little bit of a tap, I think, there on the back of Werrell's car. He's going to be very aware that Ross wants to come through. Is Ross going to go for some sort of cutback here? He takes a wide entrance into the corner. Gets on the throttle a little bit earlier, but Werrell's got it under control, you know. This is the battle for 4th. Palmer now up to 2nd, of course, after the demise of Taylor Lane. Great speed through there from Jack Werrell, and he's managed to keep the position. And yeah, Kathleen says it right. It was an amazing save to still be in 3rd. There's not much Jack Werrell can do here now about Ross Nicholson. Here he comes. He's going to have to go to the outside, though. Jack making that very clear as he goes towards the pit wall. Jack brakes as late as he dares, manages to get it to the apex. Oh, it's wobbled a little bit though. Is he going to park it on the apex and defend it from Ross? Can he do that? He still manages to stay in front. I don't know how he's doing this. He's got Brian Loynes coming in after him as well. Ross Nicholson darts out to the right-hand side. Just in front, Taylor Lane is catching Wayne Palmer as well. He still wants this 1-2 for Fiercely Forward. And Josh Clogg is on his way to a win as things stand. Nicholson has got past Werrell. He's gone round the outside. Just behind, Loynes is now going to be under attack from Van den Driesche. This is amazing racing from everybody in the final few laps. Werrell just can't hang on around there. He's broken a little bit later. He's sideways as he saved it. No, him and Nicholson are both around. They're both into each other. They've managed to save it and get back on without too much damage. Nicholson's got a bit of a bent rear wing, but Brian Loynes and Camille Van den Driesche go through. And Josh Clogg is going to come out the final few corners. It's going to be the first driver this season that isn't Herbigno or Daleman to win a race. Clap emojis in chat, as always, everybody. Josh Clogg takes the race win for Fiercely Forward. And is Wayne Palmer going to beat Taylor Lane to the line? Taylor pulls out on the right-hand side. It's Palmer second, Lane third. And Brian Loynes is just going to beat Camille Van den Driesche to the line. Tito Granher is going to come home in 6th place ahead of Ben White in 7th. And it's Ross Nicholson manages to recover to 8th. Jack Werrell just behind him in 9th there, and Bart Daleman loses out to Dries van der Rijt at the line to get that final top 10 position. But wow, oh wow, what an incredible race that was. I'm sure everyone in the chat will agree. But Josh Clogg, he lives up to the name Clog Champ and becomes the 3rd different race winner this season. Very well done to Josh. Very well done to Fiercely Forward. And Ollie Slade saying there, he had a little crisis in confidence this week. What a way to bounce back. Very well done, Josh. Great to hear. Taylor Lane finishing in 3rd, but great result for Wayne Palmer of Sim Stickers. He'll be very happy with that. But these boys have done a cracking job indeed. Shame we didn't see Herbigno manage to come back through the order there. 2nd in the AM class was Brian Loynes, and 3rd was Camille Van den Driesche. So actually quite a lot of the AM guys up there in the order. But amazing, amazing race all the same. Really, really enjoyed that one. Let's get some results up on your screen, shall we, so we can have a look through. Josh Clogg wins the race then, just under 7 seconds ahead of Wayne Palmer in 2nd position, with Taylor Lane rounding out the podium. And then Brian Loynes finishing in 4th. You can see Josh doing some donuts in the background there as well. Great to get that caught on camera as well. And then Camille Van den Driesche finishing in 5th ahead of Tito Granher and Ben White, with Ross Nicholson in 8th position. Then we have Jack Werrell in 9th and Dries van den Rijt rounding out the top 10, just beating Bart Daleman across the line, with Nick Sherman's in 12th. Then we have Paul Godden in 13th ahead of Mattia Sabatini and Stephen Growowski in 15th position. Tim Rutten finishes 16th with Matthias Groen in 17th and Simone Giovannini in 18th position. Behind him was Frederick van Eekhoven 5 laps down. Christophe Herbigno did finish the race 9 laps down, and then Kevin Bolland is 19 laps down, and Stephen de Wolf out at the very start. So it's going to be time for, well, potentially our favourite bit of these broadcasts, the interviews. And who better to bring in than somebody we were watching towards the end there? It's Mr. Werrell joins us in the chat. How are we doing, Jack? You alright?
I'm alright. I'm rather sweaty after that. I was pushing hard, but yeah, I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Really enjoyed watching that one. Very, very close all the way through. Just talk to us about the battles near the end. I mean, we've just actually watched the start as well, where you got very close to the back of a stationary Stephen de Wolf and then bounced into the side of Van Eekhoven as well. So it was eventful from the very get-go.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting, obviously, a car not to move off the line, so thankfully I managed to weed my way out of that. And my spotter didn't call out the car on the right, so I just went over without looking, which is probably not the brightest idea at the start. But no, yeah, it was an alright start. And then towards the end, or halfway through the race, I was pushing so hard for a Fiercely Forward podium all the way through, because I knew, obviously, Josh and Taylor were up front, so I thought let's push for that. And I clearly overdriving the car, overheated something, and just started to drop back, losing a couple of tenths every lap, and it just slowly started to build up. And then I was driving what I think was probably one of my best defensive drives ever. And then I just got a little too overconfident. I think that was on the brakes, and just looped the car around. What I did forget to do was move the brake bias forward at the start, but no need for excuses. Yeah, just such a good race, and it's such a shame that it ended that way. But I'm happy that we all got across the line in this one.
Yeah, it was certainly exciting to watch, mate. And like you say, very, very good defensive drive. It was amazing how you kept Ross behind for so long. I mean, he's certainly one of the quickest guys in the series. It was a very strong race for you guys as a team, though. I mean, despite the spin further on, obviously Taylor and Josh finishing first and third in that. It's been a bit of a turnaround based on the last few weeks. Obviously, getting Taylor on board as well. Do you think that you boys can keep this momentum up as the season goes on?
Let's hope so. I'm sure we can. I'm not in the points for firstly forward anymore. You nominate two drivers, and that's Josh and Taylor for this one, which I 100% agree on. I'm not the quickest bloke, but I always try and have a turnout. But yeah, I think we're there or thereabouts in terms of potential for a good finish in the constructors or in the team's championship. And as long as we keep on working together like that. I don't know whether you saw when I just let Taylor by, I knew he was the one scoring the points, so there was no need to keep him behind. And yeah, I think firstly forward will end up getting a decent result, Touchwood.
Well, fingers crossed, mate. It's great to see you guys at the front of the field. Just talk to me about how he's been getting on. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll add a bit more into the mix. We'll add Taylor Lane in the chat as well. I was just going to say, Taylor, how have you adjusted to being in this team with these boys? I was going to get Jack's opinion first, but we'll go for yours and see if his changes based on that.
Yeah, it's been fairly seamless. I've not had any issues getting used to the team, and they've made me feel welcome. So yeah, it's been quite easy.
And what would you say, Jack? Do you agree?
Yeah, I really do. Not that I've spent much time testing with Taylor. Obviously, I've been without a wheel for a couple of weeks, but yeah, we've been exchanging opinions on everything in our Discord, and it just seems to work. Like I said, it's seamless. It's like he'd spent years here. He just turned up and really made the team his own, and it's great to have such a nice guy on the team.
Well, it's always good to hear, mate. Always good. I mean, I've spent some time with Taylor as well. He knows how much of an idiot I can be. Very well done on your result tonight as well, Jack. I'm going to let you go, but just before I do, mate, do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
All the firstly forward guys, like I said, they've made Taylor welcome, but they've really made me welcome, even though I know I can be quite a stroppy git, and I'm not the quickest guy, but it really doesn't matter. They see through that, and as long as you're willing to race, there's always a seat for you. And Ollie Slade, he's just led it from the top, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and he always knows what to say, even if I'm being an arse or I'm being quite a nice guy. He always cheers me up, so massive thanks to Ollie as well.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Well, hopefully we'll speak to you next time around then, Jack. But for now, well done on your results tonight, and yeah, have a good evening, mate.
Cheers, buddy. See you around.
So, Taylor, we'll stick with you, mate. That second race must have been amazing. I mean, Ollie was losing his mind in the chat when you were closing up on Josh. How did that fight feel from your point of view? Did you enjoy that?
Oh, that was great fun up until I spun. I just got a bit too greedy.
Well, what did you think caused the spin? It looked like the curb caught you out a little bit. It seemed to unsettle the car.
I wouldn't say it was the curb. I've been using that curb quite a bit the whole race. I think it was just a mixture of obviously the curb and the tyres, because it was quite late in the race and the tyres were.
Oh, just lost you there, mate.
Oh.
We've got this issue again.
Once again.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was just down to old tyres. I just asked too much for it.
They were quite overworked by that point, I imagine. You certainly looked like you were pushing. Did you enjoy Interlagos as a circuit in these cars? I mean, a lot of guys, it's a very Marmite track for everybody.
I quite like this track. It's very difficult to get lap time, but if you can find that lap time, it's great.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks, isn't it? I mean, I've always had the experience that when you're on it on this track and you get a good lap in, it really feels like you're on a good lap. It's a very rewarding circuit to drive, isn't it?
Yeah. You just instantly know that when you're on it, because it just feels.
The apexes are very sort of exaggerated here as well. But we go to somewhere that's another circuit that's quite hard to get lap time at. Brands Hatch in 2 weeks. How do you feel about going there and these things? Because it's a lot more close quarters than it is here.
I've not actually got too much experience of Brands Hatch in these, but because these have got a fair bit of downforce, I think it should be very enjoyable. Should be.
Well, hopefully it's a good crack, mate. I've just realised as well that on the stream right now, you'll see that it says that you're driving for BritTech Esports, because for some reason it hasn't updated at my end. So how brilliant is that? I'll get that updated for you right now, literally as we speak, and it'll be saved for next week. Although it does say Fiercely Forward on my screen, so you know, technology. It's being absolutely cracking for me. I love it. Honestly, it's been a nightmare recently. But thank you very much for joining me, mate. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go?
The same as Jack did. The entire Fiercely Forward guys, they've just made me feel very welcome. I haven't done too much with them yet, but I'm looking forward to doing a lot more with them. They've been good.
Smashing, mate. Absolutely smashing. Well, good to speak to you, Taylor, and thank you for your time, and we'll see you at Brands.
See you then.
And I know it may seem a bit biased to speak to all of them as well, but what we're going to do is bring in our Race 2 winner, Josh Clogg, to join us in chat. How are we doing, Josh? You must be over the moon with that.
Oh yeah, very happy with it. Disappointed about the first one, but you know, it happens, and brought it back around for the second one, so happy with that.
Well, it certainly looked like you had a good fight on your hands with Taylor, of all people, your teammate as well. He was just saying how well he's sort of blended in as well, and so was Jack. Do you feel like you were confident racing so closely against him on track out there?
I would have preferred not to, but I remember last week he was saying that he burnt the tires up after, you know, the first 2/3 of the race or so. So I was just kind of biding my time, waiting for a little looseness, and it happened to happen.
Well, it certainly looked like you enjoyed it anyway, mate. First win, of course, that wasn't either Bart Daleman, well, first non-Belgian driver win, actually, this season, to be honest with you. To be representing the States, obviously, I think you're the only one of 2 American drivers in the series. The other one's Stephen Grabowski. How does it feel to be sort of flying the flag in a series that's filled with European drivers?
It was definitely pretty... I was pretty unsure of it at first. You know, the guys from over your side, they definitely take the sim racing thing. They're pretty into it, and it's not quite as, you know, quite as popular over here as far as road racing. It's mostly oval racing. So
yeah, you guys like turning left, don't you?
Some of us. But yeah, it was. It's great to, you know, have such a mix going on and racing everybody. It's a good time.
Good stuff, mate. Well, very well done on your win. It's great to see one of the Fiercely Forward cars finally top step of the podium. Just before I let you go, though, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, mate?
Yep, everybody, all the cheer squad in the stream. That was a wonderful addition. And, hope everybody enjoys.
Smash him. Well, thanks very much, mate, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks at Brands Hatch.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Cheers. And he had a bit of an up and down evening tonight. He's been bouncing around off all sorts of cars and curbs and everything. Bart Daleman joins us in chat. I bet that was quite a lively one from your point of view, wasn't it, Bart?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed with my race. It was very, very bad. First race against Ross, I didn't expect him to be so on the brake so early, so I hit him. And then race 2 versus Sabatini, I was changing because I was changing my brake bias. And the next corner, I lost the rear while braking and slide into him. So very sorry to him too. But overall, I was, especially race 2, was very bad for me.
Well, it was good to see at least you're getting stuck in. I mean, sometimes these race meetings where it's not as straightforward as having 2 wins pretty much straight away. It's a bit character building, isn't it, as the season goes on?
Yeah. It's a very competitive drivers field, so it was all very close together. Practice went very well. I was very happy, but qualifier didn't go well suddenly, and it's a very disappointing evening. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed that it changes for you, mate. we've got Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time. Is that a track that you'll feel confident around in these cars?
It has a good flow. I like it in a lot of cars. I never drove it in the F3. So let's hope I like it there too. And I hope for a better evening and that I don't hit anyone else. Because I'm really, really mad myself because I was taking a lot of time to make drivers briefings and that they have to watch out. And then the man who wrote it hits 2 guys. So I'm very sorry for that.
Well, it happens to the best of us, mate. Don't you worry. But thank you, of course, to you for organising the series and getting everything sorted. We'll have a quick chat about paints and things afterwards, because you may have noticed on some of the stream if you saw it tonight, some of them weren't quite right, but we'll get that nailed, we can assure everybody. Just before I let you go though, buddy, is there anyone you want to give a shout out
to? Thanks to you for the nice broadcast, and thank you for my admin team who helped me a lot because I was sick this week. I had 2 days high fever and they really helped me out for sorting things out. So thanks to them.
Brilliant stuff. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Bart, and I will speak to you very soon and we'll see you at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, you too. Over 2 weeks. Bye.
Cheers. Well, thank you everybody who has joined in this evening. It's been great to bring this broadcast to you. I've been Chaz Draycott, your host for the night, and this has been Simracersworld TV and the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series. A great evening at Interlagos, some fantastic racing, and finally we have the first win of the season that was a non-Belgian driver in the form of American Josh Clogg for Fiercely Forward. I will be back with you same time, 8 PM, in 2 weeks' time as we head to Brands Hatch in the UK, where hopefully some more of the close quarters circuits over there can bring us some amazing action. As for now, thank you very much for watching and have yourself a wonderful evening.